I found a therapist through my endocrinologist, and I'm really happy I went through with it because I'm finding a lot of ways where diabetes does impact me.
The strongest people in the world, I think, are type 1 diabetics. I feel like you have to just, take a deep breath every once in a while, just know, okay, I'm type 1 diabetic, but so let me take this break for 2 seconds.
I went through a breakup in the winter, and of course that affected me, as it would any other person, without type 1. But then I realized, when I'm sad, this is how it affects, how I manage my type 1 that I've never experienced before, even though I've, been diagnosed for 7 years.
That's the time where okay, I need to rally the troops. I need to grab all of my support to help work through those emotions so that I can do the task of diabetes. Because you can do the task of diabetes. You've done it before, you can still do it, but all of those emotions are getting in the way. And so you need to address those emotions and talk to people about those emotions so that you can do the tasks. And there's a lot of people around that want to help to relieve some of that burden. The really, really crucial thing is that you let somebody know that you're feeling that way, to be able to talk about it and make some moves to help you feel better.
I have had a therapist now for probably almost a year. It is so helpful to be able to be going through a situation in your life and you're like, okay, I gotta talk about some therapy. And putting that in your mind and be like, okay, I have someone who I know who is a third party, who is unbiased, who knows me, who can look at things in a different perspective. The advice that I would give people initially trying to find therapy who may have health insurance is to look into providers around your area. It can be very difficult to even find a provider. I was on wait lists for about 6 months initially before I got a call that there's an opening.
The first thing I would do is, if you have health insurance but trying to find a resource, is call your health insurance company and get a list of providers who are available. And then if you have a provider who understands diabetes, try to overlap that list and find someone who's covered. That's not always easy, and I wish I could say that mental health care was easier to come by.
I often recommend people go to some specific websites and look up some people's names. One of the websites that I really recommend is called Psychology Today. You can put in your zip code and your insurance, and it spits out a whole list of local therapists.
ADA, I believe, has a therapist finder, which I haven't actually used, but I imagine that would be useful if you don't want to have to advocate for yourself and explain what diabetes is.
So let's imagine that you have health insurance and you need someone who understands diabetes, but you cannot find somebody who takes your health insurance who also understands diabetes. Many health insurance plans, especially PPOs, it's more challenging with HMOs, but not impossible, will do something called a single case agreement with clinicians. And what that means is, if you find a provider who you think would be a good fit for you, and they are willing to do it, you can call your health insurance company and say, I found this specialized provider who provides this type of service. I need it for this reason.
I'm 4 years out from scheduling my first therapy appointment, and best thing I ever did. I'm 2 years out from scheduling my first nutrition therapy appointment. Best thing I ever did. The work is long, and I don't want to stray anybody from doing it, but once you jump that hurdle, I love going to all my appointments.
For a long time, my solution was simply to just give up and give in to my poor mental health. But I found a lot of really, just a lot of meaning in recognizing that I have an obligation to care for myself, and I can take care of myself out of respect for my body even when I'm having a rough blood sugar day.
Treat yourself well and respect yourself, and know that if you have a bad day, it's gonna be okay. And I think that's where speaking to a therapist and finding the root of all these like little connections has really helped a lot.
It can be so rewarding, but it's really, really hard. Just with anything, you know, just like anything in life, it's really, really hard for a little while.
And having someone acknowledge that and validate those feelings can relieve some of that heaviness of those feelings. You don't have to do diabetes all by yourself.